Carolina, they have an offensive lineman this year that is 6'9", 320. And you know that boy is sorry. And the way you know that boy is sorry because he's 6'9", 320, yet he goes to Carolina. Like if he got anybody that went to a Division II school, you know that if you got a player with Division I size, he stinks. Because otherwise he would be playing Division I football if he had Division I size and Division I talent. No, man, he's sorry like the rest of these dudes that are out here. No, it's going to be a rough go for Belichick, man, because they don't have the players from what it looks like. And he never looks like he's having a good time, but he really doesn't seem like he's having a good time.
It's Stugotz and company. I'm Izzy Gutierrez. We've got Bomani Jones in the house, which is always a special occasion. Stu, Taylor, how are you guys?
We're good. Thanks.
Why don't you start in this place? Why don't you start in this very...
Don't waste time talking to me when we have Bomani here, okay?
All right. So we didn't really talk about this all week long, but there was a couple incidents that I thought were hilarious and very much like 2025 sports, right? You had the Phillies Karen situation where some fan came up and started yelling at a dude for, I guess, beating her out to a foul ball. And then he actually gave her the baseball. And then, America started attacking that Karen as they normally do. And I don't know if you guys remember at the U.S. Open, there was that one sort of fan signature scene, and this one guy grabbed a hat that was intended for a kid and ran off with it. Mm-hmm. And people found out he was a Polish business owner somewhere here in the States and sort of attacked him, doxed him, I guess, basically. And actually, little detail about that one. They got the wrong Polish owner initially. They got the wrong guy and attacked him and made his life miserable. And so that's one of those very 2025 possibilities. And then there's my favorite one, man. It hurt me to my core because it was the Gators that were losing this game. But USF Bulls, after their upset win in Florida, had their kicker, the Grammatica kid, Martin Grammatica's son, and the holder, I believe is also the punter, sort of embrace in celebration. And a camera angle got them for this story, let's call it just the wrong time, because it looked like they were in a longing embrace and everybody was certain they were a couple. Like this was them outing themselves as a couple. USF, wow, very, progressive of you. And you saw a video online eventually of them kissing. And it's just like, whoa, how did I miss that? And that part was fake. They're not gay. Just an unfortunate picture. There was even a story in Outsports about it, guys. And Outsports had to then correct themselves later and said, sorry. And even the players are like, hey, not mad, but not gay. Also, I hate AI now. And that story was so hilarious. And this USF happens to play in Miami this weekend. And Bo, I don't know how people are going to use this, right? I have an idea. But I think students maybe, or their fans or whatever, they have an opportunity to just have some fun with this without making it insulting whatsoever.
Yeah, but
that's not going to happen.
Trying to have fun with that without making it insulting is the slippery slope of all slippery slopes now, is it? Like, you have to ask yourself, are these jokes that you're going for really worth it? I had 3 of them that came up in my mind as you were reading that, and I was like, nope, and nope. Like, what I did think was interesting about it, though, like, I remember, I think it was like an old Behind the Music about REM. And Michael Stipe was explaining why it was that he never officially came out or answered the questions. And his point was, I thought it was blatantly obvious. I didn't think there was anything. It's like to me where Brittany Griner came out after she left college. I was like, what did you come out of?
Right.
Just curious. I thought we all knew this. But the truth is, in fact, I had a relative where it was a dude and he was talking about his boyfriend. I told my dad, I was like, oh, I didn't know he came out. And my dad was like, well, he didn't have to do that. I'm like, no, sir. Because we needed to be able to know we could talk about it. It wasn't a matter that it needed to be revealed. I just need to know that we could talk about it. So you see somebody do something that looks like, hey, those guys might be gay. Still not enough. Not in the era where you got your painted fingernails and everything else. Nope. We just stand there in a state of ambiguity and we're just like, somebody's going to bring it up first, right? Who knows? So I thought it was hilarious that Outsports accidentally outed somebody that was not out because they were not in,
right? Because
they were not gay.
Which makes me wonder, have they ruined celebrations forever? Like, are all guys going to be like, wait a second, are they going to be
coming out celebrations forever? They've been ruined? Is that what you're saying?
Are they going to have to pause themselves mid-celebration and be like, wait a second, is this going to be a photo that thinks that we're a couple now? Or is it just...
Or do we have the first generation that legitimately doesn't care, right?
Maybe.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Because the point that I make is we have not gotten far enough in the game of progress that I could say somebody is gay, get it wrong, and it not be a thing. Like, it's still something where it's like, oh, I need to apologize for that. If I see a gay dude and I say he's straight and he's not, I don't have to apologize for being like, oh, my bad, dog. I thought you were straight. You don't have to do that. Like, the full progress is like, are you gay? No, I'm not gay. Oh, okay, cool. We just keep it moving.
Right.
Not there yet.
It becomes a normal question, right?
Right. We're still not there. Well, what made you think that? What was about it? Well, buddy, you got 4 painted fingernails over there. And when I was a kid, that was an indicator of something completely different. No. We're not there. But yeah, those two dudes, I did not know about the story till you told me. And then I saw the two of them longingly looking at each other in this moment of celebration. And I was like, quite a specialties room you boys got over there.
Stu, let me tell you how far I went with this before I recognized that it was fake.
Okay.
I looked at that and I was like, well, hang on. If those two are going to come on with anybody, it's with me and Stugotz and company, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I know some people in Tampa. I know the old Tampa Bay Bucks, whatever. What do they call each other? The PR director, the media director.
The media relations director. You're piecing this together? You're trying to get to the guy who knows the people? I mean,
right. And then so I was going to figure out who the SID was over at USF and give him a call. And then that's the first time I saw the video with the kiss. And I was like, wait a second. I didn't see that. That doesn't seem real. And then I just kept Googling, and it was a story from 3 hours earlier that said, oh, sorry, not gay. I was like, okay. I'm glad I didn't make that call. But just one last question on this one. If the players, let's say they win on a game-winning kick or a game-winning touchdown, whatever, and the planned celebration is to grab another guy and just do like a pose, like, would that be funny? Because I would find that hilarious, not necessarily insulting them for accidentally believing that they're gay, but just being like, this is how we celebrate and just having fun with it.
Just sinking into it. Yeah.
I would find it funny, and I would immediately try to find the Twitter accounts of every legend just to get a handle on what they think has happened to their beloved program. Hey, Michael Irvin, you can look at that. Has anybody reached out to Ray Lewis? See how he feels about this?
I lied. I also want to say one more thing about this game. I think USF's going to win.
Oh, do you really?
I mean, it's set up for the perfect upset game for Miami. They just got back. They just officially got back again, and so it's time for them to lose.
It is time. It is time. We need to go through and get ourselves a thorough list of Miami is back. What happened next?
Oh, that's good. God. You know what, Taylor? Taylor's on it.
What happened next is we realized they weren't back. That's what always happens next.
Yes, it's a matter of time.
Bomani, you know what's interesting about USF is you have all these kids. I love when you have like situations like this. They went into Florida, they beat them, they'll play Miami. You have all these kids who wanted to go to Florida and wanted to go to UM, and those two schools said, nah, you're not good enough. And so they get paid to come into the other team's stadium and be very competitive and at times win the game like they did last week against Florida.
Well, that's why I'm surprised that Florida plays these games. Like, I rooted for Texas for a long time, and there are a lot of those games that they would prefer not to play because you can't play in Arkansas, where Texas and Arkansas have played each other a single-digit number of times in the last 30 years, like close to 35. They just haven't played each other. Arkansas still sees Texas as its number one rival.
Right.
You can't dial it up enough to be as charged up as they're going to be when you go play that game in Fayetteville. You never can. So Texas is like, no, we don't really want to play. I think the little schools that might be good enough to get it cracking, but like not really. No, man, they don't ever want to play those games, ever. I would never get on the field with a lot of those schools just because it's a lot of dudes that you have offended, like being around North Carolina basketball for a long time. Iman Shumpert, when he was at Georgia Tech, I had no gauge on how good he was at basketball because the only time I watched him play was against Carolina. Carolina offered him and told him that he would be behind Larry Drew. if he came there, and he bust their ass every single time he played against Carolina. Home, road, didn't matter. I could never tell if he was actually good or just really vengeful.
It's such a great point.
Bomani,
he was only good
to be able to be vengeful and just
guarding him.
Get off.
against in 2014, our North Carolina football team, we played ECU, and it's the same thing for us.
Whole team of them.
Yes, it was Shane Carden, it was Justin Hardy, and it was Zay Jones. And the second that game started, we were like, not only are these kids pissed off at us, they have as much talent as us. They hung 70 on us that day.
Yes. Well, it used to be a combination at ECU. ECU used to be a combination of kids that wanted to go to Carolina and those who did go to Carolina before they ran afoul of the law. ECU was like, hey, come on down, man. We ain't got time to be worried about those things. Come on in.
But, Monty, I don't know how much attention you pay to the SEC these days, but Billy Napier somehow hasn't been fired. And as a Gator,
close, is he?
As a Gator alum, it's mind-boggling. Like I have to mute the television when he does interviews because it's embarrassing. Like he's just, I don't know if he plays dumb on top of coaching dumb, but is this something where UF just doesn't have the money to get rid of him, or are they making terrible decisions? Because the dude's been 500 since he got there.
I think one, you just can't keep burning through coaches, right? Like sometimes you just kind of got to ride it out for a little while. I think it's a combination of things. But I think the biggest question is, do Derek and DJ want Napier to be the coach? Because if Derek and DJ want Napier to be the coach, then Napier is going to be the coach for a little while. And forgive me, I say Derek because I am old and I watched Derek Lagway play in high school, in multiple sports.
Right.
And now his son DJ is like, you keep talking to me about this Arch Manning prospect situation. I'm like, yo, have you seen that tank they got over there playing quarterback?
I was surprised he went to Florida because of that. Like, what about Billy Napier's offense makes you think that you're going to be able to shine?
Well, yeah, him, because he still grew up in Willis, Texas. Like, him getting out of the state, especially after they ran the janky game with Rashad and the money didn't turn up, I'd have been terrified about engaging in any financial agreement with Florida. That's my guess as to why it is that Napier is still there, because this is year 4. It ain't gonna happen past this. Like, if he doesn't really turn this around by whatever the signing date is that you need to be concerned with, then yeah, he's gonna wind up being out of there. The question that nobody has a great answer for is, how good exactly is Florida supposed to be? Like on a year in, year out basis, the expectations for all those Florida schools have been reset. The idea that for much of the 90s and the early 2000s, all 3 of them were excellent. That's wild. Now that's impossible. Like it can't be. Too many people come in and recruit there. So with Florida, how good are you supposed to be? Because when we really look back and look at it, it's the Spurrier era, it's the Urban era, and then it's the rest of the history of Florida football.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, they have been largely overrated ever since Urban left. Like when they were in the teens in the preseason, I'm like, what are they thinking? Like, you don't even know if Lagway's going to play. And if he does, he just had those spot games where it was pressure free. Nobody cared. Season was over for them. And now you're going to put them at 15, 13. It was absolutely ridiculous.
You are ready for the DJ Lagway conversation.
LSU, Miami, Texas, Texas A&M. Like, they're going to be toast. And Billy Napier, I mean, if he's hanging on, it's going to be embarrassing for him.
Yeah, look, and when you guys get tired of a coach, by the way, you guys get tired of a coach. And what's going to make it worse for Napier, and I don't even know who the AD is anymore, Jeremy Foley set the blueprint from this in 2004.
Yes, right.
That which will be done eventually must be done immediately. The all-time firing coach, which is what happened when you lost to Sylvester Croom.
Bomani, I said it's 7-0 North Carolina, the opening game. I thought they were going to win the national championship. Did you?
I immediately sent a text to me and Taylor's mutual friend, Sherelle McMillan, after the first drive. And I said, hey, this is going to work. Like, they looked really well coached. Like, that was the thing. I was like, oh, Belichick has got these guys doing what they're supposed to do, everything else. And then I stopped and was like, hey, when your quarterback is the smallest guy on the field, baby, I don't really know how far this is going to go. Like, Carolina, They have an offensive lineman this year that is 6'9", 320, and you know that boy is sorry. And the way you know that boy is sorry because he's 6'9", 320, yet he goes to Carolina. Like if he could, anybody that went to a Division II school, you know that if you got a player with Division I size, he stinks. Because otherwise he would be playing Division I football if he had Division I size and Division I talent. No, man, he's sorry like the rest of these dudes that are out here. No, it's going to be a rough go for Belichick, man, because they don't have the players from what it looks like. And he doesn't, he never looks like he's having a good time, but it really doesn't seem like he's having a good time.
I just can't believe you fell for it the way I did. That's my reaction. Hey, this is going to work.
I did. I was like, it may not work this year, right? But I thought I saw the blueprint for what you could pull together and what you could sell to people. And they invited everybody. The thing about Carolina is that Carolina wants to shock and awe you with top line star power. They can do it, right? Jordan, Lawrence Taylor, Mia Hamm, Pep. And they just all came to watch Carolina get their asses kicked, man. It reminded me, my first weekend in Chapel Hill, for a football weekend, rather. They had just built the Jumbotron, or just put up the new Jumbotron at Carolina, and they played a game against Florida State. And Florida State had this dude named Greg Jones, that if you're really into college football, you remember Greg Jones. Yeah. Greg Jones had a play in game one where he goes to the left, and that Carolina team, I cannot explain to you how terrible they were. He goes left, this dude named Dexter Reed, who's got 2 Super Bowl rings and had a real live NFL career. And the whole season was Dexter Reed plays strong safety and leads the team in tackles because everybody else stinks. And Dexter Reed runs over because nobody's stopping Greg Jones, and Greg Jones clearly saw him, stopped, planted left, came back right, hit him with a stiff arm that took his helmet off so hard that you thought his head came off with it. That was how the Jumbotron got celebrated. Your best player got decapitated.
I just saw the highlight of that, and I just remembered, that was a North Carolina player. It's a crazy coincidence. I just showed that this morning. Bill Belichick has to be currently in hell, right? Because I can't imagine any coach have their spouse or significant other come up on the sideline and start chatting them up, and they are good about it. I can't imagine Andy Reid being happy with that. But Bill Belichick would be the last coach that I would imagine would be walk back toward the sideline after that conversation and be like, everything's normal.
It's a shame that we have all this judgment for that situation because love is a beautiful thing, right?
It is.
This man is in love. I went to an event at the Super Bowl and the two of them pulled up and I was like, oh, buddy, this man is in love. She make him feel different, boy.
Yeah, but is she in love?
at the
same way he's in love.
At the very least, they have an understanding. Right? That's all you can say is they got an agreement.
Bomani, is there too much working against Arch Manning for Arch Manning to actually exceed expectations? It's crazy.
It's impossible for him to exceed expectations in large part because the expectations are kind of secondary and tertiary. He's not Peyton's son. He's not Eli's son.
Yeah. But you have to remind yourself of that all the time.
Right. Yeah, Peyton thinks he is.
That's what I don't get. He's the other one's son. And look, that's why he's the fast one's son. And that's why he can move. But he wasn't that good a player in high school, not to the level at which we are discussing, playing at the level of Louisiana football that he did. The question that the people I trust had was okay, so why wasn't he better? Why weren't they winning more?
Right. Competition was terrible.
Yeah. And look, that's the same high school that Peyton went to, that Odell Beckham went to. So I'm not going to pretend like that school doesn't produce players, but it didn't this wasn't a definitive sort of thing. And so now he's here, and the history of highly rated quarterback recruits going to Texas and how it works out is spotty at best. For Vince Young, he was there for 3 years and it was a year and a half that was good. The first year and a half, they were getting ready to turn him back into playing tight end. If you remember the Chris Sims years, that was just a lot going on at all times. This isn't a school where you're just guaranteed that it's going to happen. And Sark is getting tight. I don't know if you saw that press conference where, it looked like his arm hurt when he threw the ball. Why are you mad at us for asking that question? Mm-hmm. Bad sign.
Yeah. And so what do you think of Arch? Because I'm of the opinion, like you just mentioned, he's hurt. I don't think anybody's going to miss out on a chance to draft a Manning. So he's going to be number one whenever the hell he comes out. What are we going to get by that? I think he'll be good. I think he might be Eli good, maybe not Peyton good.
Yeah, I think this, though. I think that, for example, you put him in a draft and you stand him next to DJ Lagway, Arch Manning is not going number one in that draft, right? Because he's the one that brings the
everything
circus.
we've seen lately.
Yeah, he's the one that brings the circus, right? He's the one. If the discussions that people have about you don't want distractions, you don't want all this outside noise and everything else, and look for Arch, bless his heart. His granddaddy got a pretty good playbook, and he lays low, and he doesn't say very much. Like, he's not bringing the attention to himself, but the attention is going to show up, right? Like, I am very curious to see what it'll be when it comes time for draft evaluation, right? Because that's when we're going to really find out the truth of what people think of him. Like, Caleb Williams being a good example. The Bears, I don't know if you saw the Tyler Dunn expose series, but the Bears clearly decided before the draft that they were going to take him. If you looked at boards around the league, it was a lot of Jaden Daniels, number one. You know, like, let's see what happens.
But what's interesting with Russell Wilson, I'm not certain why Taylor is asking me to ask you this, but I'm guessing you guys had a conversation about this. He wants me to ask you. I don't know why he's not fucking asking you himself. Is Russell Wilson washed?
Oh, he's the washedest. He is squeaky clean, man. It is a wrap. It's been a wrap for a long time. Like, he's one of these guys where, like, these dudes who don't play on time, all you got to do is slip a little bit.
You're right.
And then this whole thing goes, like, I watched a lot of that game with Washington and New York, and I was like, oh, buddy, this is dunzo. And look, if I was him, I mean, look, everybody claims that they was with one of these spectacularly beautiful women. They're like, oh, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be playing football. In this particular case, nah, man, ain't no way. At that same event where I saw Belichick and his queen pull up, I talked to Russell for a little while, and then Sierra was there. And he didn't introduce me to Sierra, but I introduced myself.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
Like 3 times. I was like, hi, I'm Bomani. I didn't know if she could hear me.
Right.
Bomani.
Yep. Still wasn't sure.
Bomani. I just kept going. Just had to be done. She needed to know that she met Bomani Jones that night.
She's married, Bo.
I know. All I did was introduce myself.
That's it.
I wasn't going beyond it because, look, let me tell you something. I ain't got no interest in fighting Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
That's not going to go well at all for me. That boy got big, giant, heavy hands. That was not going to work out well.
Bo, where do you think we are? Not that you've been in an NFL locker room as a player, but where do you think we are in the locker rooms in terms of, would Tyreek Hill be welcome here because he's still really good versus get that dude away from me or us because I don't know if he's toxic yet, but he could be.
Interesting. He's not as good, though. That's the interesting thing.
Yeah, I think the fact that he can cause his own problems becomes more of an issue than, there's other stuff that we're finding out about him. I think football players and comedians are very similar, where you have to be tolerant of some pretty staggering flaws in humans because that's who does this, right? Like, so like when a comedian gets caught doing something crazy, comedian friends are not the ones to throw him out because they're like, dude, look at these other people that I hang out with. Like, this is kind of what it's got to be. If you think that Tyreek can play, then you go ahead and bring him, because normally a guy like that is OBKB at first, right? Like, you got to go a little while. Like for the Cowboys or George Pickens, I think it'll be fine this year. After you give them that money, bless your hearts, there's no telling what's about to happen. But everybody can hold it together long enough to get a check.
What'd you make of Jerry trading Micah to the Packers, man?
I actually think that once the Packers paid him $47 million a year, that Jerry was somewhat vindicated.
That's funny, Bo. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they blew the box.
Right.
The high for a non-quarterback was $41 million, and they paid $47.
Crazy.
They blew the box, right? Yes. Jerry made the call that it didn't go the way he wanted it to. And so he was moving on, which in a peculiar way, I kind of sort of respect. Like, he's like, I drew this line. This is what it is. And I bet you Jerry ain't got no beef with him, right? I think Jerry's, I'm not going to talk to your agent and all that stuff. Yeah, all that stuff was weird. And I think that Jerry must think he's going to live forever because normally old people operate on shorter timelines. Like, ain't no future when you're 82. Right? Like what are you talking about? You waiting on flying cars, big dog? You're 82. Like this is not going to be your move. But I did think like this sort of thing can happen, and you just decide that time is up and you go on about your business. The real thing for me is certainly they didn't make the Cowboys better, but I don't know like functionally how much worse it makes a team that wasn't going to win the Super Bowl anyway. ...
Right. They almost beat Philly, man. I mean,
Packers look terrifying. They played against my Lions, and it was, if this is what it's going to be, baby, we got a problem.
Really? You think the Packers are that good, huh? Really?
I mean, if either Micah Parsons or Rashawn Gary is the other one on the edge.
Right.
Like, this is not, what are we doing here? You know, the Lions, oh boy, how did I pick that team?
Listen, I'm a Jets fan, man. Come on.
Yeah. So when I got here, I thought about, like, I enjoyed them when Saleh first got there, right? I was like, maybe I'll jump on the Jets wagon. And then I decided, I'm not going to do that. But the Lions, I went ahead and I did that. And look, I got a conference championship out of it.
Right.
We had the best team in the league last year. Mm-hmm. But it might be over already. And if it's over already, I have no reason to think that we're coming back anytime soon. Like I keep saying this is ridiculous. This is behavior that I don't support.
Have a little faith. They have a little bit of issues on the offensive line. They might be able to fix it. They might be okay. They fix that running game. All of a sudden, Jared Goff.
That's what I'm saying.
Looks like
that's what I'm talking about.
So
that's what I'm talking about. That's
I
what
got one question, though, because I've been on that same sort of situation with the Ravens. I've been a Ravens fan ever since Lamar got there. I want to see that dude win it. I'm not a big fan of John Harbaugh. I think he's a bit of a coward, and I don't know what
a thing to drop and then keep it moving.
Because Stu and Taylor know. They know. It's all based on that little speech he gave in July about, I'm just going to visit the president. Why, that should be an amazing thing. Instead, he's like hyper normalizing all this crazy shit that's going out in the world. But I'm looking past that.
I was talking about not going for it on fourth down. I mean,
yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I had forgotten about the other thing.
Where's that part two? That part two. Can I still have faith in the Ravens after that game?
I do think that you still can because, I mean, they still put up 40. They still ran for damn near 250 yards. Lamar Jackson still looks excellent, but they keep blowing these leads. And what is wild to me is that Lamar Jackson saved John Harbaugh's job in 2018. And every time they come up short, it is now finally that people are like, hey, what about John Harbaugh? Right? Like, other than that, it had gone to Lamar. And look, the point I make about this is, I'm not saying Lamar's the reason they lost those games, but he ain't the reason that they won them, right? And at the level of quarterback that he is, that's a fair point for you to wind up making. But everybody gets tight. And Lamar, for all these games where he would get tight early, I would look specifically at him. But if you're looking at the whole squad and the whole squad tight, then we go back and look at the coach. There's no way around that. Yeah, you won a Super Bowl in 2012.
Right. It's been a minute.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Yep. The Right Time with Bomani Jones. Check it out wherever you get your podcast. We appreciate the time, sir. Appreciate your friendship and appreciate your support. Thank you for doing this, my man.
Brother, man, I'm always here for you, man. Good to talk to everybody.
Yes, man. I appreciate it. Enjoy the football this weekend, man.
Yes, sir.